getting fucked?
Welcome in on this Monday. We have some breaking news. A senior Trump administration official telling CBS News that the administration plans to drop its controversial $1.8 billion anti-weaponization.
Whoa! Yeah, those judges going after it must have fucking pissed them off or kicked them in the nuts a little bit.
Fund. That money would compensate alleged victims who claimed the Biden administration weaponized the government against them. I want to bring in CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes live. Nancy, you've been working your sources on this story. This is quite the turnaround. What have you learned?
Liz, our sources say that the administration is stepping back from this controversial $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund that Democrats.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Jan 6 psychos are going to get any of the money.
Democrats had been describing as a political slush fund, and Republicans hadn't been happy about it either. In fact, earlier today, President Trump met with the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, and we know that this fund was on the agenda in part because Senate Republicans were so angry about the plan that DOJ was working on making some changes to the fund to mollify them. Basically, these Republicans, many of whom had felt that their lives were in danger on January 6th and were frustrated by the fact that this weaponization fund appeared to be designed to provide compensation.
You good, girl? Let's go to small step in the correct direction. A win's a win. Yeah?
Compensation for individuals who were arrested and charged in connection with their role on January 6th. A short time ago.
Man, it's going to be 6 years. It's going to be 6 years in like 8 months.
We got a statement from the Department of Justice essentially saying that because a federal judge in Virginia had placed a hold on this fund on Friday, blocking DOJ from dispersing any of the money, that DOJ was going to go ahead and abide by the judge's ruling and would not be moving forward with the fund.
Wow, I'm shocked that they did that. I am shocked.
But Liz, this ruling was only meant to be temporary, giving the judge some time to analyze the worthiness of a lawsuit that had been filed against the fund. And so this does appear to be cover for the administration basically distancing itself from a project that had turned out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that they backed off. Normally, they just like go for it. I think they were expecting it to be a lot easier of a win for them, and then it wasn't a win for them. I'm also shocked it didn't take long to stop it. When was this announced a week ago? Yeah. Like I said, literally like 2 days ago, I was like, they're just going to do it anyways, even if the judge blocks it. But I'm glad that the judges are still blocking it, and they backed off completely.
Be quite controversial.
Yes, I'm curious, Nancy, leaning into that, do you find that this, from your sources, are they telling you this is because they thought the Trump administration thought they were going to lose and they were getting so much pushback from both sides of the aisle?
I'm not sure that they thought they were going to lose in court, but they were definitely losing in the court of public opinion. This fund wasn't very popular, was certainly not popular with Democrats. In fact, Democrats viewed it as almost a political gift because they felt like it would be so easy to run on this in an election.
They can still run on it. They should still run on it. If Democrats don't run on it, they should still run on it.
Year, the idea that the president was pushing for people who, we've all seen the video, were violent on January 6th, who had pushed through the doors, gotten into the Capitol, the notion that they needed to be reimbursed, they found that laughable. Now, the Trump administration saw it very differently. They felt that even people who played minor roles on January 6th, who had just kind of gone along with the crowd, had the book thrown at them.
Even if they were dragged along with the crowd, they still made the conscious decision to go with the crowd.
Some cases had to spend thousands of dollars defending themselves.
Good.
Hiring lawyers. Some of them went bankrupt, and there were.
Yeah, fuck them.
A lot of Trump officials who felt that these people deserved some compensation, or at least deserved to be.
No, they shouldn't have been there.
Heard out by the Department of Justice.
Stop saying that's it's a rational thought. They were all attempting an insurrection.
But apparently, that is not going to happen, at least not in this form.
All right, Nancy Cordes, thanks so much for that update.
No, it's CBS. We got to stop rationalizing it. What the fuck? They were all there. Any of them could have just left. They weren't being held there against their will. President Donald Trump's nearly $1.8 billion fund to compensate victims has been put on hold. Rare rebuke of Trump demonstrated some Republicans' increased willingness to flex their political power against their president, particularly after his endorsement of, his endorsement of Ken Paxton. Such a dumb fucking move. Proposal was dropped as senators returned to Washington after the Memorial Day break and faced an impasse with the president over a $72 billion bill to fund ICE, Border Patrol operations. Speaking to reporters, Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he made clear to the White House the fund needed to be killed. They gave us an ultimatum, the White House said, describing how Republican lawmakers negotiate with the White House over the fund. White House's goal is to speed passage the funding package, said the source, who, like other sources, spoke on the condition and anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. May the next generation of adults be more rational and outspoken than this one. Yeah. Democrats are going to put this through. The $72 billion is going to go through for ICE. I don't see the Democrats stopping that. Because it was an easy stopgap with the weaponization fund in there. But if they go to be like, oh yeah, we need to fund our ICE officers, I'm going to be so pissed. Now that the weaponization fund, which is a tiny portion of it, is no longer there, yeah, we'll let it go through. Blanche audition at stake since taking over his... that's about Blanche. Republican rebellion was an extraordinary act of defiance given Trump's insistence on loyalty and his threats to back primary candidates against those who do not toe the line. The fund emerged as a legal settlement between the Trump and Justice Department to resolve an unprecedented $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS over the alleged mishandling of his tax records. The $1.7 billion was meant to pay people who said they were been subject to government abuse. Oh yeah, we need to fund the Gestapo. Yeah, the Democrats would do that. I mean, remember who let Hitler in power? Hitler didn't take power. He was let into power. On Friday, federal judges in Virginia and Florida issued orders temporarily halted the fund until June 12th and called for further review. And then the Justice Department disagrees strongly with those decisions, but the department will abide by the court's ruling and then shut it down. Wow. Trump is not thrilled, but understands the only way to move forward for now. Source says, adding that it's not final until Trump announces it. Thune, who said he talked to the White House over the weekend, told reporters on Monday that he thought the rest of the way forward would be if the administration decides to shut it down themselves. Democrats and some Republicans question whether it was really killed or what guarantees won't come back in another form this week. Democrats push legislation to ban the slush fund, ensure no president can ever do this again. Chuck Schumer, please, actually be a fucking politician. Settlement agreement also barred the IRS from pursuing any audits into past tax claims for Trump, his relatives, and his companies for any tax returns before May 18th. It was not clear how or whether the pausing fund would affect any possible audits of Trump's past tax claims. At this rate, I'd even have Dr. Doom as president, even the Fantastic Four version. Oh, the Fant-for-stick version. Yeah.
Happy Monday. It's 4 o'clock in New York. So it only took 11 years, but finally, at long last, there is an idea on the table that is too toxic, too smelly, too horrible for Donald Trump. It's, of course, the $1.8 billion at the moment, how that part of the story affects the deal that it was part of, this deal.
Which is to fund ICE. I guarantee the funding ICE bill will go through now.
With the IRS, where they agreed to effectively grant immunity to Donald Trump and Trump's kids and Trump's
God, and the IRS granting immunity to Trump. They want that so badly. Trump has made so much money in the last year.
This is from any and all tax audits and investigations now and forever in the future. But as for the fund, which was part of that settlement, take a listen to what one of the law enforcement officers who defended the United States Capitol on January.
I believe Trump doesn't have any actual friends. Nobody actually likes him as a person. Yeah, of course he doesn't.
6, and everyone inside of it said when the slush fund was first announced.
Even Epstein thought Trump was fucking irritating, and Trump thought Epstein was his best friend
2 weeks ago.
I think adjectives have lost meaning in describing the actions of this administration. I guess there's a combination of two that come to mind, and it's disgraceful. That taxpayer money would be used to compensate violent insurrectionists. And let's make no mistake about what this fund is going to be used for. This fund is going to be used to pay violent criminals for committing violent crimes on behalf of Donald Trump on January 6, 2021.
You're pretty much, my friend. Let's see. What's my guy, John?
Tasty cilantro lime rice. Black.
I don't care. I want to see what John Ossoff said. Remember, this guy is yeah.
Donald spent Saturday complaining on the internet. Listen to this. 6 hours, 52 posts. The president attacked the Pope.
He's an alright guy. Hold on. I was thinking of like John Ossoff isn't a great or isn't the worst, but he's also not the best.
He posted his own face on Mount Rushmore in a made-up Trump peace.
Is this the beginning of it? Yeah, because that's John Lovett.
He announced 3 times America's back, and he assured an increasingly concerned public he's in excellent health. And
sometimes I get John Ossoff and Jacob Ray confused.
Not posting,
what's up, Missouri?
He's been trying to rob us. Have you seen it? He sued the U.S. government he commands for $10 billion. Then he settled
yes,
the
but
suit
I'm talking about stuff
to create a $1.8 billion slush fund so he can cut checks to cronies and Jan 6 foot soldiers.
This is good messaging from John Ossoff. I just don't want the Democrats to become an opposition party only opposite of Trump.
He pardoned him, and now he wants you to pay him.
Granted, when John Ossoff talks, it doesn't have the same kind of demeanor that Kamala Harris had, where it felt like she was just constantly looking down on you.
He's trying to put his face on the money. Did you see that? He's building a monument to himself. But see, Atlanta, he's doing these things now because no one will honor him when he's gone. Because he's a failed president and a national disgrace.
John Lovett, I'm expert at very few things, but political stump speeches, I do not miss them, even from people I loathe and would never vote for. This is the best one I have heard, not just in the last 18 months, but perhaps in longer than that. And this has that perfect Obama-esque combination of mocking and specificity.
Yeah, we need a mock. We need to be assholes to the Republicans.
Applause lines are like pitch perfect, and I haven't heard a crowd roar like that, frankly, since the Trump 2016 rally.
Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, God, I wish Harris had won. I wouldn't have to worry nearly as much about all this. No, you would have to worry about this happening in another 4 years if Harris won. Harris wanted to change literally nothing about how the government was run. The Democrats, if the Democrats win right now as they are, and it's like Harris or Gavin Newsom, nothing will change. Nothing will change. We need somebody who's we need like a complete redesign of the Democrat structure to be able to, like, I won't vote for Harris and I won't vote for Newsom at all. Because why should I? Both these people don't care. They're both being leashed around by their corporate interest, especially Newsom. I don't know if it's against the rules, let Mamdani be president. Oh yeah, Mamdani can't be president, can he? He's not native born, is he? Or is he not? Where was Mamdani born? Yeah, Uganda, yeah. Dems are too scared because the GOP has all the violent crazies. No, they're too scared because they have too much money. We need to see harder opposition than this from the Democrats. Even John Ossoff, that wasn't enough. Go out on stage and call him a rapist, pedophile. Instant 100% approval rate right there, baby.